Hello, this is Chuck Thompson, Director of World Emergency. I am standing within the parking lot structure near Walmart and Home Depot and other department stores here in Duarte, California. This is the future of the economic jobs and new revenue plan for the city of not just Los Angeles, but many cities throughout the entire state of California, and California being a light and an example for the rest of the nation. And I'm standing in front of a grid here because these new facilities that we will set up within the parking lot structures of Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's department store, Sears, Target will be zero grid facilities. That means they won't be needed to hook up to the grid. They will run on their own renewable energy, and they will be housed by the local and federal authorities working together side by side to help combat terrorism, giving the citizens understanding information on what to do and how to do in a terrorist attack or threat or so-called unnatural disasters such as what happened regarding Sandy, New Orleans, in Japan. We're not ready, but these economic job training centers, these new emergency communication facilities will give the citizens the understanding, the help that they need. Again, the police department, fire department, search and rescue teams, locally, and FEMA and Homeland Security and the CDC and other vital agencies will team up, handing out pamphlets and training first and second and third responders. Now, of course, the Office of Wendy Gruhl pointed out that the emergency response for the fire department is not adequate, and yet they need funds as well. This will allow the funds to be given to that agency and give them the strategic location within the city, ready and poised for whatever emergency or disaster comes up throughout the city, throughout the many cities throughout the state. Again, being a light and an example to the entire nation. Now, these economic job training centers will bring in almost $100 million of new revenue on an annual basis, and hundreds of thousands of jobs throughout the cities and the state. Actually, the program will go nationwide, yet we need an example city, an example state as an example for the rest of the nation. And the nation is an example for the international community who's not being threatened to go off the cliff. They're already gone over a bit and they need a helping hand to be brought back up. And we can be that light and an example, all without a new spending plan, new taxes raised or vital services cut or furloughs sent out. We can pay for it all, literally, because nationwide, setting up 10,000 emergency economic job training centers will bring in 10 million new workers. From 100 to 1,000 employees will be needed to run and work in and around these emergency economic job training centers. And it will bring in literally about $1 trillion in new revenue on an annual basis, all to be shared, 30% to the city, 30% to the state, 30% to the federal government. And 10% will go back into the facilities themselves. Now, this is a win-win situation, not just for the local and federal authorities, but the citizens, where job fairs will be conducted in and around these emergency economic job training centers. And whether you have the redevelopment agencies or other corporations conducting these job training facilities, they will give new career opportunities, education to the citizens in and around these centers. Again, revenue will be paid by the new jobs. And the sponsorship from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's department store, Sears. Now, why? Of course, you are asking, why will they put $8.4 million, which is the cost of one of these facilities, on their facility to be housed by the local and federal authorities? Because they will get 2 to 10, in some cases 20 times more on an annual basis back from each one of these economic job training centers. All of this is explained within the proposal. It's titled the Watchmen Program. The Watchmen Program is spelled out within the pages of a publication called Reconciling Us, or Revolution. It has been sent to you. I appreciate very much if you can review the details of the proposal. And again, I would like to come in and give you a fine synopsis and understanding of what the first steps that needs to be taken to bring in the jobs and the new revenue. Again, without new taxes, without legislation frustration even, because you don't need to vote up or vote down. There doesn't need to even be an executive order, because again, the corporations will be more than willing to bid for the opportunity to have this economic job training center placed on their facility. And the reason why is, again, because they're gridless facilities. It sparks a new industry. Not only spark, but in and around these centers will be placed a portable home, a portable school, an office, an emergency medical unit, a portable farm even. These facilities will be sold to the citizens and the corporations and companies in and around the city and the state and the entire country, but on a global scale as well, because the entire international community needs these facilities, needs this new facilities industry. Now, these corporations that are sponsoring them, sponsors them because they will get new revenue, not just the magnet of new activity and opportunity in and around their property, in and around their store, buying their goods and services. They will have a new industry of goods and services to sell to those citizens, to the corporations, to the global community within their stores. Because everything that you see in the training facility, the new communication emergency job center, will be for sale within their facility. All of the lights, all of the electrical applications, the solar panels, everything to run these facilities, including the homes, the schools, the offices, the emergency medical units, the portable farms that are in and around on a display around the centers, will be sold within the store. This is the privilege that they will have to reap the windfall profits of this new industry, all set up within the city, built throughout the state, and as an enlightened example throughout the entire nation. $1 trillion in new revenue will go a long way, split 30% from the cities, 30% to the state, and 30% to the federal government, and duplicate it even on a global scale, because the success built within America will be set up within all and throughout the 280 plus consulate offices that we have on the international community. An economic job training center will be set up. The display of homes through the Commerce Department will be for sale throughout all of the countries of the nations, bringing in a potential $1 trillion there on an annual basis. And not just 10 million new jobs, but perhaps 20 to 40 million jobs worldwide. All without new taxes, all without a new spending plan, all without going over the cliff. This is the solution. And again, without voting up or voting down or splitting party lines, everyone will go for this proposal because they don't need to vote on it. It just works on its own. It is capitalism at its best, not at its worst. And we need to utilize it because America does this better than any nation on the face of the earth. So if you are contemplating bankruptcy, please do not. Let me come in. Let me work with the staff. Let me bring in the corporations and sit around the oval tables and give them the opportunity to bid on these new facilities, giving the city, giving the state the new revenue that it needs to reconcile its books. And again, federally, the debt, of course, bringing in that $1 trillion in new revenue, this will bring it down dramatically on a yearly basis. And as the success of these facilities grow, we can pretty much wipe out the debt in less than 16 years. I believe actually 8 years. And perhaps we can set a speed record and do it within one term of a president being in office. Please give me an opportunity to come in and give you the fine details of this proposal. Again, it is called the Watchmen program, and it is spelled out within the pages of Reconciling Us or Revolution. There is one vital, important aspect of this proposal, and I believe it's the best one. It trains the students in and around the community colleges, the various universities around the city where these centers will be. Because the corporations, again, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's department store, they will partner up with construction companies to build the facilities, to build the new homes, the schools, the offices, the portable farms. And the construction companies will partner up with the universities to have a lot of these facilities built literally on the university's property, the community colleges' property, the higher learning trade schools' property, where the students get paid. The universities, the higher learning centers get paid, reconciling their books. Everyone will get an opportunity to be a part of this new facilities industry. And may I add, the Kyoto Treaty would salvo at the mouth to have such success built in without carbon penalties punishing countries that don't want to be involved, because all nations will want to have this new facilities industry built within their nation. But it's going to start here within the United States, and we will be the frontiers of it. Of course, Detroit is contemplating bankruptcy, and they should not, being the innovators of the Motor City and the car facilities industry. Now they will be innovators of this new facilities industry, sponsored by the corporations within the city, within the state, building the 10 million new jobs within the first year's completion of the program. And all of the agencies, and FEMA, and Homeland Security, and the CDC, and paying our police and fire department and search and rescue teams employees without furloughing them off or cutting their pay, they can get raises that they need at this time. Even the post office will have an office within these 10,000 emergency economic jobs training centers set up nationwide, and rent-free. That's right. The police, the fire department, search and rescue teams, FEMA, no one will be paying any rent for these things. The only one that will be paying, of course, is the vendors in and around it, the restaurants in and around it, the other corporations that sponsor these facilities and having an opportunity, the job training fairs. But the federal and local authorities are rent-free. That's right. That means they can move out of their old, dilapidated facilities and come into these new zero-grid green facilities run on their own renewable energy. Please contact me. Chuck Thompson, Director of World Emergency, 626-243-8200, chuck@worldemergency.com. I'm looking very much forward to working with you soon.